Can wait to see if the David Brown will start on its own without any aero start. It did the other day, so I've got a new heater plug in. If we turn that to just before it clicks, brings the heater on. Give it a wee while. Depends how much power's in the battery, of course. Give that another heat for a while. The fuel, there's a fuel line actually runs through the heater plug off the injector returns, so I'm assuming that once the coil's hot it puts the fuel in and turns it into flame. Come on, you can do it. Another wee heat. It's quite a bad day today, but it's been damp. There we go this time. Think about it. Once you do get it started, it starts no bother after that. I'll just let it ride a wee while. I'm hoping to get the cab off today so we can get it into the tractor shed. So, unfortunately it's quite icy around here today as well. Right, I'll stop you there for now. Well, I'm away to attempt to take this cab off. I've got it attached to the digger and the major. I've welded a bar across the back, so hopefully we can lift it off. Let's see what happens anyway. Hopefully we don't break any glass. Right, here we go. Stress on it in a minute. A few. I think this is going to work. on the ground, almost. Need to put some blocks at the back there. Yeah, I'll sort that out. I'll switch you up there. I've managed to get the cab off of David Brown. It wasn't easy. I don't know, I've filmed it in the GoPro, but it's quite dark, so I don't know how it'll come out. And I've got it in here, but there's sparks coming out the exhaust. So, I don't know if it's needing piston rings or not. At least it's inside now, and I'll be able to work on it anytime I want. The power steering doesn't turn fully one way, but it does the other, I've discovered, but never mind. Like I say, it's inside now, that's the main thing. Oof, that was a job and a half. Right, I'm going to put my feet up. So I've got the Major there and the DV here, so Polaris will let you go up the road. The ice today is absolutely lethal. I just skated down the hill there in the Polaris here. So anyway, well look, we got the cab off last night. I'm just going to show you how I did it. So what I did is, this is, if you've been watching my channel, this is my grader I made for the Kubota, so it kind of fitted. So but a lot of weld on, because I used the MIG. Just put it to full throttle and welded it into place, and then the digger sits in here. I was really struggling for height to do it. I was worried about that very expensive window, but it's on the deck now, so that's fine. We'll maybe have to put it back on a different way, maybe get something that can lift higher, but it's not bothering anybody sitting here. So, and then we've got the David Brown inside, and I put this bar on before, and I drilled all these holes and tapped them M10 just for use in the future, you know, if we're putting anything in the back. And that's about it. So let's go. So I'll be able to get on with the David Brown and inside now, get the wings sorted and that and what have you. I wouldn't recommend doing that the way I did it, but it's what I had, so I use what I had as usual. Okay, that's all for now. I've been doing a bit of research on this David Brown 996 hydraulics. Those are super complicated, and we could never get the lift arms to go down, but I've discovered that they're absolutely solid through these bolts, both sides. So the only way I could get them down was I push them down with the digger, but because these couldn't turn, they were locking. The other thing I've discovered, so there's the 3 modes on here, and to change it you've got to pull that back to there. So that's your depth control for your plough, I think, and then height controls when you're using your back arms, and then TCU, traction control, and that works with, I might be wrong about this, it works with this gadget. So when it senses the spring in here, senses it changes the height of this. So if the plough digs in, this will lift a little bit, and vice versa, to give you more traction. To use that, you have to have it in TCU, and then there's a 3-way valve over here, which I haven't quite figured out yet. Needs to be in the right position, and the ram is in here. Yeah. I'm still learning this thing. It's dead simple, really. No. Right, your lifting ram is down in here, I think, and that's. You can see that. I don't run out the cable. Right, so the ram that lifts the back links is in there. That's a 3-way valve. So the position it's in now gives us fluid to this point, and then there's a straight up position, which I'm not sure what that does. I think that's maybe just for if you want to go up and down with the rams. And then you put it to the front to use the other takeoff point. Now, I've been looking for a blade screw, which I think I've just found. Nope, it's a bit of wire. There should be a blade screw somewhere around here. I can't take that one out to air it. So, and this here should have like a big com on it, and what that does, when it's in, it locks the arms up. So maybe if you were going to be transporting a plough or something and didn't want it bouncing up and down. But I can't move that with a pair of pliers. The other thing I've discovered, there should be a spring here to take that back, and there ain't. It's as loose as anything. So we're going to go in here and see what we can see. So when you want, now this TCU is complicated, so when you want it to come up, you've got to push it past that point to where you want it, and then the spring should take it back to about here somewhere. And then what you do is you bring this up till it starts to go up, and then you can set one of your guides to let you know what it is. This might not be 100% right. This is just what I've kind of read in the manuals and that, and other folk on YouTube. Anyway, like I said, that should have it's very loose. There's something, I'm not sure if the lever between it and here is connected, because you've got your, that's a dump valve, beside it is an on-return valve, and then the valve chest comes this way, and it's got about 4 other valves in it if I remember right. So that lever connects back, there's a spool valve in there as well, if I remember. Anyway, it's super complicated compared to the major. Pull the PTO in, work the hydraulics straight off, and it even had a clutch ploughing attachment here, so when if you had the right top link for it, so when the plough's stuck it pulled the clutch in, and you couldn't go forward until you moved it. But I don't really know nothing about this hydraulics apart from they're a pain in the butt. This is a PTO unit, which is a 2-speed, so you've got 540 that way, neutral, and then you get 1000 if you go backwards. To get the hydraulics to work, you pull in that lever and that engages the PTO clutch, but the PTO doesn't have to go round because the hydraulic pump is in front of the PTO. So if you want to get in a hydraulic pump, you need to remove all that, which I don't think it's that bad to do. So you can run without the PTO spinning to work your hydraulics in your lifting pipes or trailer or whatever. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is try and get these bolts freed off, because they may actually come down then, because oh no, it's moving. That's moving. Yeah, that was solid. Okay, so that's the plan. Try and get them freed off. Probably take them out and clean them. So that's about it. And then we're gonna have a dive in there. I made, you've maybe seen the video before you've seen this one. I made bits to go in here. This is a dump valve. And there's a hold valve below it. Now, one diagram in a manual shows you a ball bearing, a spring, a ball bearing, a little plate with 3 holes in it, a spring, and then a cap. Another diagram shows you the dump valve with the 3 parts I've just mentioned, and then yet another diagram, there's nothing in And there was a chap on YouTube, Kiwi, and he took out and blew through it and there's nothing in it. So it now has the, I made the, so it's, that's the hold valve that's below it. It's got a little orifice, and then I've got a plate with the 3 wee holes, a little orifice, a ball bearing, 7mm ball bearing, because the 6.5 goes down the hole. And then, sorry, my brain's a bit slow today. So I'll start again. So you've got your hold valve, and it's like a Venturi hole, a ball bearing, a plate shown in the manual with 3 little holes round it. It's a supposedly non-return valve. And then a spring, and then depending if it's got this dump valve or not, it's either a screw on top of it or the dump valve on top of it. You can actually buy a set of seals for that dump valve, Agron you've got them. However, the reason these hydraulics are so confusing is because when you put some of these settings on, the spring takes it back to the hold position where it says lift there, and then you push it up that way, it carries on lifting. It gives you 2 lifts. What I need is one to take it down, but it could be just that these being seized, they're not moving. So I may be wrong here, and I'm sure somebody will tell me if I am, because I'm just learning this tractor. Oh, the manual's so boring, you've no idea. It's like reading War and Peace. At least the Fordson manual's a bit better. So, and that's that there. I've got a return. So I had it on the press last night, but I mean I had it sort of at full throttle before the hydraulics would work and it could move the press, but it had no power. So that's what they call the camel sump. There's a magnetic filter in there, and it's also an airing point because it's the highest point in the system. This is your dump valve, like I said, it pushes down and turns and locks sometimes. And that lever there is the handbrake. Locks the arms, which were all seized. I freed them off, but at some point we're going to have to remove that whole thing, because the brakes are in there. They're dry brakes. We'll keep that for a rainy day. Anyway, I'll switch you off there and I'll go and probably cook these, give them a heat. Let's see me that nuts off first, and I'll bring you back later on once when that one is moving. I'd still let you take it out and clean it. So it's the 23rd of December today, 2022. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve, so not sure what. My daughter took me out for lunch today, so that was a change. And didn't come down here till about 4 o'clock and got distracted as usual. Oh, and I fitted an oil pressure gauge, and it's got 50 pounds of oil pressure, so the big ends are good. It was throwing sparks up the top of the exhaust there, but maybe it's just in a good thrash, you know, it was sitting for so long. I've no idea how long it's sat. And now that I've got the cab off, I can get all that tidied up, and this one's not on yet, but it needs a wee bit of adjustment. We can get all that welding done. So the thing that's really bugging me at the moment is the hydraulics. So the man from the Mist, pretty good with them. I've been he was emailing me back and forth and certain drawings and that, so that was handy. So he's actually taken the whole valve test out and took it to bits and put it back together. So if you want to see that, look for the man from the Mist. Is it Barry on YouTube? Ex Rolls Royce man. So there you go. That could be totally wrong what I've told you, but as far as I can work out, that's it. So I'll shut you off there and I'll go and get vicious with these. It's moving. Yeah, beauty. We'll figure it out at last. Now, right. Interesting. TCU. Look at that. Right. now that's locked in. That is working. That's what we needed to do. Pick it with that. Right, let's see if we can get it out of there. One. Right, I've managed to get both of them out with a special pin. They've got this, well, there's wear on there, look, and they're greased. Somebody hasn't been greasing this thing at some point. So I've got the both of them out. We'll get them all cleaned up and I may weld them up and turn them back to the right size. Probably will. Managed to save the nuts as well. One of the nuts has had a wee bit more pounding than the other. Right, so that's that. Okay, so now I can tell you that definitely locks that up there. Because it's doing it at the moment. So normally there's a big question mark on there. So there you go. Full movement of the arms. So what was stopping the hydraulics was these being seized. And I've also found out, when I was speaking about the spring earlier, there's no spring in the TCU, but when you put it to height there is. So I'm still going to have a look in here. And that's depth. There's no spring in the depth. So in the manual it said something about the ram having to do stuff before it could do other stuff. I don't know, I think they just made it as complicated as they could. So that's handy. That's that locked up again. That's a step forward. Right, I think I'm going to stop there. I'm going to have my tea. As always tomorrow. Wasn't doing much yesterday because my legs wouldn't work out to use my wheelchair yesterday. I could hardly stand. A bit better today. And what with pulls today, so I'm not sure what happened, whether it was because I'd been walking about in the ice and maybe, you know, holding yourself, or, I don't know, but it wasn't a good day anyway, so, and I had to go to the dentist twice, so I just winched my wheelchair onto the back of the Polaris, put the winch over the top of the Polaris and pulled it onto the back, and up a couple of ramps, so that worked quite well. And then I had to go back to the dentist again because I needed a filling. So I was there at 9 something, 9:55, might be 9, around the 10 anyway. And I said, well, I'm at home, just phone me anytime for a cancellation. And they said, well, can you come back at 11:30? So I'm back at 11:30. And got the chemist and that for my pills. What am I on now? More new pills. No idea. I've got a box like a chemist shop. Vitamin D supplement for 1 year. Apparently everybody in Scotland should do that. That's his prescription. So, anyway, enough of my troubles. Which either rant about Pip. I'm not doing that until I'm finished with Pip. But, well, just watch anybody else's rant about Pip. It's about the same thing. So, that's that. I'm actually quite chuffed. That's cheering me up getting that off of there. Just put in a heap of new grease nipples and see what happens. It wasn't for starting tonight, I just had to use a laughing gas, but it's quite damp again. Got the battery on charge now, so see what tomorrow brings. We'll look in here tomorrow, see what's what, and maybe sort those pins. Like I said, I'll probably weld them in and turn them back again. Oh, look. The nail looks to be like a 16mm or something. It's 16mm. Let's get enough for it. Anyway, that's my adventures for today. Bye for now.